Hello again, day 3 of our Miyazaki trip. Well, we woke up early. It was raining. We woke up around 2 or 3 a.m. And when I talk about rain, it was pouring. So we pulled things closer to the tent and we went back to bed. We had the rain cover on, so we weren't that worried. But when we woke up later that day, we were in a puddle. That slight slant of the grass did nothing for us because the grass held in the water and we were in a pool. It was amazing. I took my finger and pushed it down towards the floor and the tent that we were not sleeping on was floating. We were in a pool. Crazy. If you let something sit in water long enough, even if it's waterproof, it will let water through if it sits in water long enough. And so we had been sitting in water long enough and things were getting wet on the inside of the tent. So before breakfast, we picked the tent up and walked it over to the cook area where the man said we could go the day before. Once at the cook area, we hung everything up and let things dry out as much as possible. It was raining, but it wasn't cold, which was nice. I was in my trunks and I had my rain jacket on. So that was nice. We had breakfast. We had spinach, potatoes, and fried leftovers. It was wonderful. And it was still raining, so we went after breakfast into the main building and just hung out. It was warmer in there. It was dry. And I wrote in the journal. Krista played ukulele. It was quite pleasant. We went upstairs. No one was looking. There's nothing up there, but there's a great view. That was wonderful. And around 12 o'clock, the rain stopped and the sun came out about 1 or 2. And once the rain stopped, we decided let's go down to the beach because it's right across the street from the campground. And it was pretty cool. We went down to the beach and we just kind of beach combed. And the reef there, the reef around Aoshima area is very special. It's called the Devil's Washboard, or some people call it Goblin's Washboard, but I like Devil's Washboard better. It's layers of sediment because it's sandstone that has been uplifted on one side. So there's just all these different lines. It's very cool, and that's how the reef is all around the area. And you can tell on like Google Maps that even though deeper areas are between the reef, the lines match up almost perfectly from maybe across the bay to the other reefs. So it's pretty cool. So we went out and played and watched the birds. So in Miyazaki, where we were, there aren't seagulls. And I don't know why. In Miyazaki, where we are, there are lots of hawks. Lots of humongous hawks. The hawks' wingspans are 3 to 4 feet wide. So very large hawks. And there are no seagulls. And I don't know why, but my dad, he said, maybe it's because the hawks eat the seagulls. Maybe, I don't know. The whole time we were down there, we saw maybe 6 seagulls. But not like, the rest of the world where there are lots and lots of seagulls. So that was interesting. But also, playing on the reefs, the kind of sad thing is there's no wildlife out on the reefs. Anything that can be eaten, and I'm talking about anything that can be eaten, is taken off the reefs. So it's just scraped clean. We did see sea slugs. So I don't know if people eat sea slugs. I assume not because they were on the reefs. But we did see some sea slugs. And we did see some sea urchins. But even when we were playing out on the reef, there was people collecting sea urchins. And we saw an urchin diver walk up with a whole bag and then go right back into the water and collect a whole bag again. So they just scrape everything that is edible off the reefs. So it's kind of sad. After the sun came out, we decided we should walk up. Right behind the camp, there is a Buddhist temple on the top of the hill. And so we decided to walk to the top of the hill. And it only takes about 15 minutes up a road to the top of the hill. And there's wonderful views. But on the way up the hill, Krista and I both at the same time were like, it smells like the zoo. And for some reason, it smelled like the San Diego Zoo. We think it's because of all the bamboo and it had just rained, and maybe at the San Diego Zoo they wet in the ground around the bamboo. But it just smelled like the San Diego Zoo, which was weird. So, but kind of cool. We got to the top, and there was amazing lookouts towards Aoshima Island, down at the reef, north to the big hotel with the hot springs, and south into the town. From there, we walked down a trail and to another lookout, and there's some steps at the lookout, which was kind of cool. And we did a small little photo shoot, because if you stood at a certain area and you captured in the camera, the stairs looked like they were Stairway to Heaven. So we got a picture of Krista walking up the stairs to the Stairway to Heaven, which is kind of cool. So then we continued down the trail, walking around. There was a barrier. Behind the barrier, there was flower trees. So we walked behind the barrier. There's no one up there. We hadn't seen anybody all day. Took some great pictures of flower trees, and then came back, and then walked back, and the trail met the road again. And then we went back down to the beach. And soon the shadows came out, and I've pretty much adopted this saying, the shadows have come out, here in East Coast Japan, because I'm so used to West Coast sunsets in San Diego and how beautiful they are and how stunning they are. And on the East Coast here in Japan, the sunsets suck. I mean, they are horrible. Maybe if it's cloudy, you get some color, but really the shadows just start coming out and then it gets dark. So I've adopted the saying, the shadows came out or come out. So then Chris and I had dinner, probably noodles. I don't remember what we had. And then we went to the tent under the cook area still, and listened to our book tapes and went to bed. Okay, goodbye.